Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how I created this smoky colourful makeup look. So first of all, before I lay down any makeup, I'm actually going to be prepping it with Wet n Wild's Rose multi-oil. So this is actually a limited edition product that is now out, and this is just going to help prep my skin for a little bit of extra nourishment before I prime it later on. So moving on to brows, I'm going to be using Goof Proof by Benefit. Now this is in the colour number 3, but I started working with it and I wasn't really feeling the definition I was getting from this pencil, so I ended up changing out to the Precisely My Brow by Benefit and still went with colour number 3. It's the perfect shade for my brows versus like the roots of my hair. So we're just going to fill in my brows, give them a little bit of shape, and then just to set them into place and give them a little bit more fluffiness, I always love to use my brow setter by Benefit as well. So this is like a clear setting gel, it's almost like a clear mascara, and I'm just going to comb that through my brows, pushing them up. Next I'm going to be laying down a base on my eyelids, so I'm going to be using the Studio Fix Concealer by MAC, and I'm just going to apply this all over the lids, and then with a sharp angled brush I'm also going to be carving out my eyebrows at the same time. Now I'm needing to set the concealer into place, so I'm going to be using a translucent powder from Huda Beauty. I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender to do this, and we're just going to dab it all over the eyelid. Moving on to eyeshadow, I'm going to be using Huda Beauty's Amethyst Obsession eyeshadow palette. So it's got a really nice variety of purples in it. I'm going to be taking this medium toned matte purple shade, and I'm just going to be running this along my lower lash line, and then I take it upwards. This just gives me a really nice kind of chiseled stencil as to how far I should be taking my eyeshadow out. So I'm just going to be building this shade up into my eye socket and really start to create a little bit of contour and shape to the area. So I want that base colour to look super clean and fresh, so I'm going to make sure those edges are well blended out, so I'm going to use a big clean fluffy brush to do so. Now moving back to the eyeshadow palette, I'm going to be using a slightly deeper purple shade, and I'm going to be taking a slightly smaller brush. We're going to be applying that on the outer corner into the eye socket and just slowly start building up more depth around that area. Going back to the Huda eyeshadow palette again, I'm going to be using this much darker purple shade, and with an even smaller definition brush, because we're going into a very defined area, I'm going to be packing on the eyeshadow in the outer corner and inner corner of the eye, and then just really start building up the intensity and then blending it out with a big fluffy brush. Now I'm going to be using Huda Beauty's double-ended liquid eyeshadow in the colour Minted. So one end is kind of like glittery, the other side has got more of a matte liquid eyeshadow, and we're going to create a halo eye effect with this shadow. So I'm going to be using it directly on the lid, and I found it's a super easy kind of liquid eyeshadow to work with when it comes to blending. You've just got to work with it really quickly. In the past I've used other liquid eyeshadows and they tend to crumble really quickly. These ones I've found you can layer and you don't get much cracking, and they're easy to blend. So we're going to place it in the middle of the eye, use a buffing brush to blend out those edges, and then with any residue of purple eyeshadow from previous brushes from applying earlier on, I'm just going to softly blend the outer corners so it seamlessly blends together well. Now to create a little bit more oomph to that minted shade that I've laid down, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Sapphire Obsessions eyeshadow palette, taking this turquoise eyeshadow, and we're going to pack that on top. You guys know it's not one of my makeup tutorials without a wing, so I'm going to be using this liquid liner from Too Faced. I'm going to be creating a nice medium wing today. Now I'm just going to be using some oil makeup remover just to wipe down any excess fallout that I've had from earlier on. So I want really nice full thick lashes today, so I've used the Shock Mascara from YSL, and then the false lashes I'll be placing on are the Huda Beauty Jades. These are the fake mink ones, so I'm just going to let those set, and in the meantime I'm going to be putting down my Armani Silk Foundation. I'm going to find out the colour for you guys, I'll place it in the description box for you, but holy moly, I've been wearing this so much lately. I knew it was a really highly rated foundation, and for a very long time I've been all about full coverage kind of foundations, but this one is so beautiful for like a very natural but airbrushed kind of look. So I've been using this a lot lately, and I'm just using this really nice foundation brush from Hourglass to apply it, going over top of it with a wet beauty blender to smooth it out. So the concealer I'm using is the Studio Fix from MAC again. We're just going to be placing quite a lot, as you guys might be able to see. I am going for a slightly more fuller look for underneath the eyes, just to complement the eyes, and so we're just going to dab that in with a wet beauty blender, and yeah. So to do some bronzing, I'm actually going to be using Clinique's Contouring Chubby Stick. So yes, it is a contouring stick, but as you guys can see, it's quite a warm undertone formulation. It's not a cool toned one like majority of contouring shades. So I actually like to use this as more of a bronzer sometimes when I want more of a skin-like finish, especially to kind of complement that Armani foundation, which does give off a real skin-like finish. I always feel that cream contours give a better finish with that as well. Now I'm needing to add a little bit of colour into my cheeks, so I'm going to be using this blush from Milani, and this is called Tea Rose. Going back with that translucent powder from Huda Beauty, I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender again. I'm just going to be baking underneath my eyes and then around my cheekbones, just to give a little bit of extra definition to my face. After that translucent powder has sit there for a couple of minutes to set, I'm going to use a big fluffy brush just to buff it all away. Now I'm going to be doing a little bit of highlighting. I'm going to be using the 3D highlighting palette from Huda Beauty, and I'm going to be using the lighter shade from the palette. I'm going to be using a highlighting brush, and I'm just going to place this on the highest points of my cheekbones, a little bit in the inner corners of my eyes to make them pop, and I've also put a little bit on the top of my cupid's bow. Using the medium purple shade from the Amethyst eyeshadow palette, I'm going to be using a tiny definition brush just to line my lower lash line, connecting it to the top. Then I'm going to really thicken up my lower lashes, so I'm going to be using that Shock Mascara from YSL again. And then after that, I'm going to be putting on my lipstick. So the colour I'm going to be using today is from Huda Beauty. This is called Joyride. This is a really nice kind of neutral pinky brown, and I'm going to be using a lip liner called Bombshell just to line my lips, and then I'm going to pop that lipstick over top. Then just to finish off the lips, I'm going to be using this lip strobe lip gloss from Huda Beauty. This is called Ritzy, and I'm just going to be dabbing a little bit onto the lips, and that is basically the entire look done there for you guys. I really hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you want to be a part of my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!